Have you ever had an idea that you felt was great, but then realized maybe it's entirely too niche to do anything with? That's me here with this video. I felt and do still feel it's a good idea, but recognize that it's likely going to get no attention due to how incredibly niche it is. How many people really care how much it costs to open every door in Zombies? I suppose I'll find out when I see how this video ultimately performs. But here it is. This is how much it costs to open every door in Call of Duty Zombies. A note for everyone watching is that I began making this video before the release of Shattered Veil. To avoid having to recreate all of my orders and graphs and rankings, I don't want to have to plop this map in or any others that came out. I cut off the submission at the tomb. I won't leave you entirely empty-handed. I will still mention the Shattered Veil in these rankings, but it will not show up in any of the statistics I display for you, and it won't have a proper place within the ranking list. I didn't want to entirely exclude the Shattered Veil or any other map that may come out before I finish this, but I also didn't want to have to keep tweaking all my data and script, so this is my compromise. Before we get running through all of this, I want to explain exactly what I am doing and what I am qualifying as a door for the purposes of this video. If you do not care about the exact semantics of this, then skip to the timestamp on screen now to jump right into the action where I start ranking maps from cheapest to most expensive. For those of you who want all the nitty-gritty details, here we go. There are many doors within Call of Duty Zombies, and quickly after starting gathering all the numbers for this video, I realized my definition was rapidly evolving within the means of this video. Here's what I ended up with. 1. A door for this video must cost something to open. A note on this point is modern maps which vary door prices based on player count. I'm not doing that. This will be purely from the solo perspective, as it's too much to change and track with those maps ending up with 4 different values. 2. The door must open some form of playable space that is not a boss arena. In most boss arena spaces, they are a one-time trip which you leave after and isn't necessarily a replayable space, which I think matters. The other part of this being that boss doors are typically free, so they already miss out on the first criteria. 3. It cannot be a fast travel which can be infinitely bought unless it is required to open spaces within the map. In that case, the fast travel will only be counted once for the initial necessary use to open a section of the map. Here are some examples of that so you know what I'm getting at with these examples. On Tag der Toten, there are the dynamite doors. I ultimately did not count these as it's free to open them and have no monetary value for the purposes of this video. On Zetsubo no Shima, you have 2 boss arenas, both being free to open, as well as the Skull Room, which is also free to open by doing the Skull Trials. These are free and therefore don't count. On 5, you have a barricade blocking the elevator. This counts when you open it, but the elevator also does count just one single time, as you need it for that first time to access the next level. Then the same goes for the next elevator on 5 as well. Another example in this vein is Ascension, where you have to use the 3 lunar landers once for each of them to then access the playable Pack-a-Punch space. Now, our final special case is so unique that I have to call it out at the start of this video. Buried has Leroy, who is capable of opening doors and returning points to the player. This comes with a ton of variation based on the distance. I have no reliable way to track this, and because of that, these doors are disregarded. They also don't cost you anything, as the booze can be free every round, so I can't even count the cost that you could incur by getting booze faster. This isn't every example. I will cover special cases as they come up, but for now, you get the idea of what I'm working with. Alright, we are almost ready to begin now. The last thing to run down is exactly what I have been tracking data for and what will show up. In this, I will start at the cheapest map to open, totally, and work my way up until we reach the most expensive map to open in Call of Duty Zombies based on the total points. At this point, I will show a graph that has every map on it and shows how the pricing of maps has changed through the years. I will then show the total cost to open every door in COD Zombies as well to finally answer that question. That is the feature event of this video. However, along the way, I will also display statistics for each game as a whole once all of the maps for that game have been ranked. Then you can see the trend for that game and how its maps pricing fluctuated. Once I have ranked all of them, we will have a follow-up bonus feature segment where we quickly run through the average cost of a door within every map and rank based off that instead of the total to see where things may change. Same as it was with the total cost, I will then display a graph showing every single map based on its average door price. All of that and more as we work our way through this, so it's time to start. Let's rank every zombies map based on the cost to open all of its doors. Leave a comment down below guessing how expensive your favorite map is, and try guessing as well what the cheapest and most expensive maps will be. A huge guess would be trying to guess the total cost to open every single door in Zombies. Give it your best shots. I'm curious to see who gets close to any of these. One final note real quick. If you're somebody who is just listening to this on their, put it in their pocket, just throw it in an earbud, you're not actually watching the video, I am going to break down every single map verbally. I'm going to display stuff on screen too, but the only thing you're going to miss if you're just listening to this video are the graphs themselves. But I will explain everything verbally for how the maps shake out, so don't think you're going to miss everything in this video if you aren't actively watching it. You may absolutely play this in the background, and you should still get all of what you're looking for out of it. If any of you out there watching are Zombies veterans, you are probably thinking, there are numerous maps without doors, so what's going to be done with those? Those maps are all going to be part of the not applicable ranking group. All of these maps included are Dead Ops Arcade, Dead Ops 2, fuck me, I said that wrong already, Dead Ops Arcade, Dead Ops Arcade 2, Groston House, The Tortured Path, Bodega Cervantes, USS Mount Olympus, Altar of Blood, Dead Ops Arcade 3, Outbreak from Cold War, Duran Fong, Terra Maledicta, and Urzikstan. So that's quite a few maps, but fear not, because there are still so many maps that do have doors to talk about. Our 39 spot starts with Bus Depot and Farm. Let's start off the real ranking with a duo that fit perfectly together. Cutaway Pieces of Transit, each only having one door that is valued at 750 points. Simple and easy, don't get used to it because it will get more complex fairly quickly. Number 38 is Town. Crazy to see that already all of the transit sections make up the bottom of our list. I really did not expect this, but it's been so long since I played these maps that I had really no idea how many doors were actually going to be here. So, Town has 2 doors at 750 points and 1 door at 1,000 points. Total for Town is 2,500 points. 37 is Nacht der Untoten from World at War, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 3. Naturally, the remaster maps will be sharing spots when they come up. Our first example of this being Nacht der Untoten. Nacht has 3 doors, each being valued at 1,000 points, making an easy total of 3,000 points for this map. Number 36 is a two-way tie between Transit and Advanced Warfare's Outbreak. It's surprising to find Transit so low with its compatriots and being at the near bottom. Transit has 8 doors at 750 points and 1 door at 1,000. This total jumps pretty far from the last entry and gets up to 7,000 points. Such an expansive map that appears to have been made cheap to open as a form of balance for the map. Complex and annoying to navigate, but you can use many of your points for other necessary items and not doors. As for Outbreak, it has 2 doors at 750, 3 doors at 1,000, and 2 doors at 1,250. Of course, being tied with Transit means it also has a total of 7,000 points. 35 belongs to Verrückt, and it's just like Nacht, involving 3 versions of itself. Verrückt from World at War, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 3. In Verrückt you will find 6 doors for 750 points and 3 doors for 1,000, which brings the map total to 7,500 points. Number 34 is Shangri-La, with both of his versions from Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 3 having 2 doors for 750, 4 doors for 1,000, and 2 doors at 1,250 points. The total for Shangri-La is 8,000 points. Number 33 is Der Riese, which has 3 versions, just like other World at War maps, but this one is special because the third map is a new name, being The Giant. In all of these editions, it's the same, so this is what we have. 5 doors at 750, 2 at 1,000, and 2 at 1,250. The total for Der Riese and The Giant is 8,250 points. Number 32 is the iconic Kino der Toten of Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 3. Within this Theater of the Damned, you'll find 2 doors for 750, 2 for 1,000, and 4 doors for 1,250, which makes its total 8,500, just putting it over the top of its predecessor, Der Riese. 31. Why don't we stick to the duplicate trend and talk about Shi No Numa and 3 of its 4 versions? World at War, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 3, Shi No Numa all share the same setup of 4 doors at 750 and 6 doors at 1,000, bringing the total up to 9,000 points. Now I get to show off my first graph of the video. This is how all the map totals from World at War look. Now that we have covered all of these maps, I can show this without spoiling any of the maps to come. Feel free at any point when a graph comes up to pause, because I will not be staying on them very long most often. And we're moving off of this one now. Number 30. Finally breaking out of the older maps, we have a more recent map that found itself being quite cheap to open. Forsaken comes in now, and it was surprisingly cheap. This is due to many of its doors just being teleporters, which are actually free to use, so they have no bearing on these results. What you do pay for looks like this: 1 door for 500, 2 doors for 750, 3 doors for 1,000, and 4 doors for 1,250. The total for this map being a clean 10,000 points and bringing us to 5 digits for the first time. Number 29 is the Frozen Dawn, which found itself here, and I have to say, I was surprised by that. I can't tell, however, if it's because I thought this map would cost more or because I forgot it existed entirely. Regardless, you'll find 4 doors for 750, 1 door for 1,000, and 5 doors for 1,250. This total is at 10,250 points. Number 28, we find ourselves another tie, this time between 5 and Shinonuma of Vanguard. First, looking at 5, we find an example of the weird pricing I had to do. First is 2 prices of 250, which are the elevators being used 1 time each. They are required to access the map by using each one once, so I have to include them here. Then there is 1 door for 750, 3 for 1,000, and 5 for 1,250. Moving into Shinonuma of Vanguard, we find this: 4 doors for 750, 6 doors for 1,000, and so far this is the same as normal Shinonuma, but the kicker is the new Pack-a-Punch area, which costs 1,500 points to access. Now the total for these maps is 10,500. Our number 27 spot is a big 3-way tie between Descent, Gorod Krovi, and the Shadowed Throne. Starting at Descent, we have 5 doors for 750 points, 1 for 1,000, 2 for 1,250, and 2 for 2,000. Onto Gorod Krovi, it has 1 door for 500, 2 doors for 750, 5 for 1,000, 1 for 1,250, and 2 for 1,500. Finally, the Shadowed Throne, which has 3 doors for 750, 2 for 1,000, 2 for 1,250, and 3 for 1,500. Shadowed Throne has a door which is opened by doing quest steps and leads you to getting the Wonder Weapon. Of course, this is free and not counted here. These 3 maps all total to 11,250. Number 26 is the iconic Origins. This is another map that I had really expected to be more expensive, yet here it is quite low. Both the Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3 Origins are here, and within them you'll find 2 doors for 500, 2 for 750, 3 for 1,000, 3 for 1,250, and 1 for 2,250. The total for Origins is 11,500. Monkey Town Ascension is our 25 spot, existing both within Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 3, and in it you'll find 3 lunar landers for 250 points that are required to open the Pack-a-Punch area. You'll also find 2 doors for 750, 2 doors for 1,000, and 6 doors for 1,250, which brings the total to 11,750. Staying within Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 3, we have Moon. There are 6 doors that cost you 750, 5 doors at 1,000, and 2 doors at 1,250. Exploring all of the Moon cheese will cost you it will cost you exactly 12,000 points. I know how to speak English, I promise. Number 23 is the Darkest Shore, and I hate this map, so let's get out of it quickly. 1 door for 750, 2 doors for 1,000, 4 for 1,250, and 3 for 1,500, total being 12,250. The 22 spot belongs to 2 maps, meaning we have a little 2-2-2 action here. Overwatch, anyone? No, you can't make me go back to that game. You can't do it. Whew. Okay, what was I saying? Yeah, okay, so Infection and Firebase Z are in this spot together. Infection has 3 doors for 1,000 points, 1 for 1,500, and 4 for 2,000. Firebase Z has the 3 power generators for 500 points that open the outskirts of the map, 3 doors for 1,000, 4 for 1,250, and 2 for 1,500. The total for these maps sits at 12,500. Number 21 is the Archon, which is a total guilty pleasure of mine. And in the Archon, there are 2 doors for 1,000, 4 for 1,250, and 4 doors for 1,500, the total rounding out to 13,000 points. Number 20 is yet another surprise, as it's Dead of the Night. I seriously expected this to be a top 10 expensive map because of many of the Black Ops 4 maps being quite expensive, and Dead of the Night is a large map. This one, however, lands itself right near the middle of the pack. Inside this mansion, there is one door for $750, 7 for $1,000, 2 for $1,250, and 2 for $1,500. The total for Dead of the Night is 13,250 points. 19 is a fat three-way tie between Der Eisendrache, Shaolin Shuffle, and Terminus. Quite the variation there across games. Starting off, of course, with my beloved Der Eisendrache, we have 6 doors for 500, with one of those being the teleporter to initially get you access to the rocket test site. There are 2 doors for 750, 2 doors for 1,000, 2 doors for 1,250, and 3 doors for 1,500. Next up is Shaolin Shuffle, which consists of 2 doors for 1,000, 8 doors for 1,250, and 1 door for 1,500. Our last of Spot 19 is Terminus, with 4 doors costing 500 points. 3 of those are power devices, and 1 for a boat that would allow you to access the islands of the map. There are then 2 doors for 750, 1 door for 1,000, 2 doors for 1,250, 2 doors for 1,500, and 2 doors for 1,750. The total for all 3 of these maps is 13,500. 18 belongs all alone to Mauer der Toten. Here, there are 2 doors for 500, 2 doors for 750, 1 for 1,000, 2 for 1,250, 4 for 1,500, and 1 for 1,750, which makes the total for Mauer der Toten 13,750. Number 17 is yet again a 3-way tie, but this one is special because one of these maps is going to make me lose my fucking mind. I'm going to talk about the other 2 maps first, and then I'm going to circle back to the third one. First up is Carrier. On Carrier, there are 2 doors for 750, 4 doors for 1,250, 2 doors for 1,750, and 2 doors for 2,000. Our second map at 17 is Revelations. Here we have 2 doors for 250, 6 doors for 500, with 4 of those being the siege engines that open up the portals to Nacht. There are also 3 doors for 750, 2 doors for 1,000, and 5 doors for 1,250. Our last map at 17 is Infection. Do you see the problem here? You may have noticed that this is the second time that Infection has appeared on this list, and no, it isn't a mistake. This piece of shit map couldn't even manage to do the extremely basic doors correctly. So let's break down why this is here twice. Here's the deal. In Spawn, there are 2 doors. Opening one does not open the other, meaning you can pay to open both. You can go to, let's say, the left of Spawn first, and you could also go to the right of Spawn after that, but to do it, you'd have to pay for both doors. But if you go through one of the Spawn doors, and then progress through the bottom of the sewers and pop up what would be behind the other Spawn door, something you do along that way will open the other Spawn door before you enter the area it was closing off prior. So you could open both of these doors and Spawn yourself and spend an extra 1,500 points, or you can work your way around and for some reason that other Spawn door will be opened by taking the long route. I don't even know how to classify this map now because it has 2 ways to spend money opening the doors, so this is the best I could come up with. Without knowing it, you could have just had that door open and never really noticed that you didn't pay for it ever. That almost happened to me. I just happened to load into this map and play again after getting my numbers for this because I didn't trust I had it right for some reason. This was when I noticed it and I began to test if it was actually happening, and it turns out it was. Doing this solo, I don't exactly know which door along the way actually triggers the other Spawn door to open, but it does work both ways. If you go left out of Spawn, let's say, and work your way around under to the right side, by the time you get there, that right side Spawn door will have opened for free at some point. And also the other way, if you start going right and work your way under, come back up on the left side, that Spawn door will be open by the time you get there as well. I don't get it. I don't know exactly what it causes it. It's a weird ass design, and I just got very lucky that I found it. What you saw the first time in this video was the door sequence if you take the long route that is cheaper. If you unknowingly paid for both Spawn doors, then this would be the breakdown. 3 doors for 1,000, 2 for 1,500, and 4 for 2,000. The total for all of these maps at spot 17 is 14,000 points. I am astounded at how dogshit Infection is, and yet it still finds ways to surprise me like this. Please stop with the surprises and go away, Infection. Before we move to 16, this is your graph for Advanced Warfare, as we have now seen all of its maps appear on this list. I am so glad I don't have to talk about it again, and hopefully I never have to talk about Infection again either. We follow up our three-way tie at 17 with yet another three-way tie at 16. We have Die Rise, Classified, and D Machine. Die Rise has 15 doors at 750 points and only 3 doors at 1,000. In Classified, there are 2 doors priced at 500, which are the elevators, just like on 5. There are 4 doors for 750, 4 doors for 1,000, and 5 doors for 1,250. D Machine has 2 doors for 500, 2 doors at 750, 3 doors at 1,000, 2 at 1,250, 3 at 1,500, and 1 at 1,750. The total for these 3 maps is 14,250. This is also the last Cold War map, so here's your graph of Cold War to see how its maps compare to each other. Of course, not to be outdone by the last 2 positions, spot 15 makes itself a 4-way tie. Here we have Nuketown Zombies, Buried, Shadows of Evil, and The Tomb. Let's talk about the first 3 quickly. Nuketown has 2 doors for 750, 5 for 1,000, 2 for 1,250, and 2 for a big 3,000 points. Buried has 10 doors for 750, 6 doors for 1,250, not a lot of variation there in Buried. Shadows of Evil has 1 door for 500, 7 for 1,000, and 6 doors for 1,250. Their totals to get this out of the way now are 15,000 points. Now, let's talk about the Tomb. In the map, you will actually find 2 doors for 2,250 points, 2 doors for 2,500 points, and 2 doors for 2,750. It certainly takes quite some time to work up the points to progress in this tiny map. Of course, the total for the Tomb is just like the other ones at spot 15 with 15,000 points. Number 14 leads us right back to yet another tie, this time between Zetsubo no Shima and Liberty Falls. Within Zetsubo, you will find 2 doors at 500, 7 doors at 750, 3 doors for 1,000, and 5 for 1,250. In Liberty Falls, you have 4 doors for 500, 1 for 750, 2 for 1,500, 2 for 1,750, 2 for 2,000, and 1 for 2,250. The total for both maps is 15,500. It is quite surprising how expensive a mostly casual map with Liberty Falls ended up being. Zetsubo also marked the last Black Ops 3 map, meaning I get to show you all this graph here on the Black Ops 3 maps. Number 13, back to finally having singular maps holding a ranking spot, we have Call of the Dead. Here in this frozen tundra, we have 6 doors for 750, 10 for 1,000, and 1 for 1,250. This is the final Black Ops 1 map, so here's the graph of Black Ops 1, and I also want to add for fun that Call of the Dead was the first map to release, chronologically speaking, with a total price over 15,000 points, with Call of the Dead coming at 15,750. It didn't happen again until Nuketown Zombies, and then it became more commonplace following that. Our number 12 spot belongs to the peak Chaos map with Ancient Evil. On this intricate, beautiful map, you'll find 2 doors for 750, 4 for 1,000, 6 for 1,250, and 2 for 1,500. Ancient Evil will cost you 16,000 points to open. Our number 11 spot will mark the end of Black Ops 6 maps appearing in this list officially, with Citadel des Morts. Through this castle, you'll find 1 door for 500, 2 doors for 750, 4 for 1,000, 2 for 1,500, 2 for 1,750, and 2 for 2,000. Citadel totals at 16,500 and again marks the end of Black Ops 6 charting, so here's the graph for your viewing pleasure. Before we begin our top 10, I want to take a brief moment to talk about Shattered Veil. It does not belong at spot 10, but as mentioned before, I am not formally adding this to my ranking and forcing myself to adjust my entire spreadsheet, ranking, graphs, and script. So, in Shattered Veil, there are 4 doors for 500, 3 doors for 750, 4 for 1,000, and 2 for 1,250. The teleporter does cost 500 points, but is completely unnecessary, so it remains off the list. The total cost to open Shattered Veil is 11,250. This makes it easily the cheapest Black Ops 6 map and would land it at spot 27, joining Descent, Gorod Krovi, and the Shadowed Throne. The average cost per door in the Shattered Vale is only 865.38. We will cover all averages quickly after the total price ranking completes, but for now, know that this is a low average that would land it within the first few maps on an average door price basis. With that, let's dive into the top 10. So, we've arrived at the top 10, and now these expensive maps quite often come from one location that many of you likely expected just as I did. Number 10 is Voyage of Despair. On this doomed ship, there is one door for 500, two doors for 750, two doors for 1,000, two for 1,250, two for 1,500, two for 1,750, and two for 2,000. The price of a ticket to a freezing Titanic grave is 17,000 points. Our number 9 spot is the final tie of this ranking. Here stands The Beast from Beyond and Blood of the Dead. The Beast from Beyond has 3 doors at 750, 1 for 1,000, 7 for 1,250, and 1 for 1,500, also 2 for 2,000. Onto Blood of the Dead, we have 2 doors for 500, 4 for 750, 2 for 1,000, 5 for 1,250, and 3 for 1,750. The total price for The Beast from Beyond and Blood of the Dead is 17,500. And just while we are here, because I know it'll make some people tweak out, in this list, Blood of the Dead is a top 10 map technically, but on a quality of map basis, it absolutely is not a top 10 map. Alright, so number 8 is easily one of the biggest surprises of this entire list for me. Mob of the Dead just gets a notch above its expanded recreation. I never realized how expensive Mob was to open and how much many of the individual doors cost. So, here we go with Mob. There are 8 doors for 1,000, 3 for 1,500, and 3 for 2,000. The total on Mob of the Dead is a solid 18,500. This marks the highest and last map of Black Ops 2, and so, as we've been doing, here is your Black Ops 2 graph. It is crazy to me that the smaller version of, Mob of the Dead versus Blood of the Dead is the more expensive one, especially considering that Blood of the Dead comes from Black Ops 4, which is already a game that made very expensive maps. Crazy to think about that. Way back in Black Ops 2, they were going that balls to the wall with door prices. The number 7 spot is held by another one of those not very good Black Ops 4 maps with Alpha Omega. Here we have 2 doors for 750, 4 for 1,000, 3 for 1,250, 2 for 1,500, 1 for 1,750, 1 for 2,000, and 1 for 3,000. The total of Alpha Omega is 19,000 points. Number 6 here is a forgotten gem of a map and also results in one of the stranger map totals because of some very uniquely priced doors within Rave in the Redwoods. We get to start with those unique doors right away. There are 3 of them for 350 each. These are barricades that can only be accessed while in the Rave mode and makes them very well hidden. After that, we have 2 doors for 750, 1 for 1,000, 10 for 1,250, and 2 for 1,500. Rave in the Redwoods barely beats spot 7 with a total of 19,050. Our top 5 starts off with the Final Reich. In this map, there are 3 doors for 250. These are actually the sewage pipes used to open Pack-a-Punch. I wouldn't typically include something like this, as Pack-a-Punch itself isn't an expanded part of the map, but using the pipes does leave the gate open and leaves a little more space in the bottom of the map, so I count them. Beyond that, there is 1 door for 750, 1 for 1,000, 3 for 1,250, and 9 for 1,500. The total for the Final Reich is 19,750. The Final Reich is also the final map for World War II, so here you go, enjoy this graph relating to World War II, the game, not the event. Number 4 is 9. This map does not have a large quantity of doors, but damn, each one is expensive, so let's see it. Start with 2 for 1,000, 1 for 1,250, 2 for 1,500, 2 for 1,750, 2 for 2,000, and 3 of them for 2,250. The total price on 9 is our first time breaking 20,000 with a total of 20,500. Number 3 is Zombies in Spaceland, which is a bit surprising. I had no idea this map was so expensive. Let's break it down. There is 1 door for 750, 4 doors for 1,000, 7 for 1,250, and 5 for 1,500. The total for Zombies in Spaceland sits at 21,000. Number 2 has Infinite Warfare saying it couldn't stand for Black Ops 4 taking all of the top 10 fun, so it placed 4 of its own maps within the top 10, and this is the last one. Attack of the Radioactive Thing is not surprising to see up here, and it landed itself at number 2. Within Attack, there are 2 doors for 750, 1 for 1000, 7 for 1250, 2 for 1500, and 4 for 2000. The total on Attack is 22,250, and this marks the last of the Infinite Warfare maps, which was a surprisingly expensive set of maps. So, here is that graph. Number 1 is here, and it's bringing us to the end of the main course for the video. There are still some more various items to follow, but let's wrap up the total map pricing ranks where the Aether storyline ended and head to Tag der Toten. There are 3 doors for 750, 5 for 1000, 8 for 1250, and 7 for 1500. There are 23 doors on Tag der Toten, and the final price is a staggering jump, going all the way up to 27,750. And with that, the final map is here, along with the final map of Black Ops 4. This graph is the last game-specific graph we have before moving on to the more broad topics to finish this video. As well, here is the overall graph for the totals of every single map. I will briefly show the one where all maps including the zeros are on, and I will then clean it up by removing the zeros and only displaying maps that do have an associated cost. It is quite hilarious to see just how far Tag der Toten blows out every other map. Even the number 2 spot, Tag absolutely throws off this entire graph. Well, that was exciting, wasn't it? We got through, we ranked every single map based on how much it costs to open every single door, and that was the big section of the video. That would be the meat of the video. The potatoes being how much it costs to open every single map in the franchise, but we'll get there in a little bit. I want to quickly run through the average price ranking. It's going to be much less formal, and a quick look at how the averages differ from the other maps. Again, the maps that have no doors are going to start the bottom of our list because they don't have an average. Dividing by 0 doesn't do shit. After that, we will go through all of the maps that actually have an average door price based on lowest to highest, and we'll finish the video with any remaining fun facts and our final big graphs that are overloaded with information. The finale of the video will bring me to answer the question, how much does it take to open every single door in Call of Duty Zombies? Let's jump in and get there. We're really close. Looking at the averages, we have of course the same maps as before that don't have a cost at all and don't apply here. Our lowest average sits with Bus Depot and Farm, having an average of 750 per door, taking up spot 47 together. Number 46 has Transit and Revelations at 777.77 per door average. 45 has Die Rise at 791.66. 44 has all 3 Verrückt versions and Town at 833.33. 43 has all 3 of the Shi No Numa maps of World at War, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 3, along with Der Eisendrache at 900 points per door average. 42 has both versions of Ascension at 903.85 points per door. 41 belongs to Zetsubo no Shima at 911.76 points per door. 40 is for all 3 versions of Der Riese / The Giant with 916.66 per door. 39 is another set of duplicates with both moons coming in at 923.08. 38 is the Cold Call of the Dead at 926.47. 37 goes deep down to Buried at 937.5. 36 is strangely classified by itself, being cheaper than 5 with a 950 per door average. 35 immediately follows up Classified with 5, and it barely averages more at 954.54. Also at spot 35 is Shi No Numa from Vanguard, naturally also coming at 954.54 per door. 34 is a massive tie where we have all 3 versions of Nacht der Untoten, both Shangri-La versions, Outbreak from Advanced Warfare, and Forsaken all coming in at a clean 1,000 per door average. 33 is Dragonland Garad Krovi at 1,022.73. 32 is the Frozen Dawn at 1,025. 31 is for Terminus, which is at 1,038.46. 30 is Firebase Z at 1,041.66. Number 29 has both versions of Origins at 1,045.45. 28 is my beloved Raven the Redwoods at 1058.33. 27 is both versions of Kino der Toten at 1062.5. 26 is Margraville Shadows of Evil with 1071.43. 25 is Blood of the Dead, and spoiler alert, it is very far from Mob of the Dead, with Blood averaging at 1093.75. 24 is D Machine, the Savior of Zombies, at 1096.15. 23 is Dead of the Night with 1104.17. 22 is a tie which we haven't had in a little while, between Descent and the Shadowed Throne, at 1125 average per door. 21 is the best Black Ops 4 map, Ancient Evil, with 1142.86. 20 is Mauer der Toten with 1145.83. 19 is the Final Reich, which, if you haven't played this map ever or in a long time, do yourself a favor and play it, but its average door cost is 1161.76 per door. Number 18, the champion of the total cost per map, is only at spot 18 here, with Tag der Toten having its average cost per door being 1206.52. 17 is the Darkest Shore at 1225. 16 is Shaolin Shuffle at 1227.27. 15 is Zombies in Spaceland with 1235.3. Number 14 brings the run of Infinite Warfare maps to a close, with The Beast from Beyond being at 1250. 13 is Citadel des Morts with 1269.23. Number 12 is Liberty Falls with 1291.66. 11 is the Archon at 1300. Number 10, funnily enough, kicks off our top 10 again with Voyage of Despair being 1307.69. Number 9, we finally find Mob of the Dead, and it's got an average of 1321.43 per door. Number 8 is Alpha Omega at 1357.14. 7 is Nuketown Zombies, which for a more casual map drives a hard bargain for every door, of course inflated by the power-up doors, making it average 1363.63 per door. Number 6 is Attack of the Radioactive Thing at 1390.63 per door. 5, we start our top 5 with Carrier at 1400. 4 is Infection with 1555.55. Number 3 nicely follows that up with the second route of Infection being 1562.5. Number 2 finally brings a spike with 9 going all the way up to 1708.33 per door. Number 1 was the inspiration for including averages in this video because the tomb cost a massive average of 2,500 points per door, easily blowing out all of the competition in this regard. With that, the averages are done, and here is the graph for all the averages of all maps over time so you can see how it's evolved. Now, I want to discuss how the games all stack up against each other. So let's run through chronologically to see how the mode has evolved since its inception. For this part, I am going to exclude remaster maps, so each game stands on its own with its truly new maps. World at War has 31 doors. They average 895.16 points to open, and to open all of this game costs 27,750 points. Black Ops 1 has 70 doors, with an average of 950 points magically aligning it with the mystery box, and opening all these doors will cost 66,500 points. Black Ops 2 has 84 doors, which average a cost of 1,014.88 points, and the total cost for this game is 85,250. Advanced Warfare was the first time a non-Treyarch dev took on zombies, so it makes sense that the ever-climbing numbers were stunted here. There are 36 doors at an average cost of 1,270.14, and the total for Advanced Warfare is 46,250. Black Ops 3 was mightily propped up by Chronicles, so without it, the game's door situation comes out much smaller. Here there are 75 doors at an average cost of 923.33, making the overall total be 1,250. Infinite Warfare is a monster, with only 76 doors, but each one costing an average of 1,227.63. This drives up the game's total to 93,300. World War II decided to really tone things down by having only 47 doors with an average cost of 1,138, making the total a low 53,500. Black Ops 4, as I expected, and as many probably expected as well, is the big boy in this competition. A staggering 117 doors at an average of 1,220.59 brings the total up to 145,250. This is the only game that breaks the 100k barrier without remasters, and it does it by blowing the roof off. Cold War was a major return to simplicity in Zombies, and as such it went down to 47 doors, just like World War II, but this time averaged 1,074.47 per door, making its total lower than World War II at only 50,500. Vanguard is a major swing because half of its maps don't even have doors. The other maps that do have doors only combine for 21 doors at an average of 1,119.05, making the total for Vanguard only 23,500. Black Ops 6 is here to help bring back the numbers a little bit. It's still a young game with some more to offer in the future, but as of now it has 44 doors with a fat average of 1,375 per door, making it already cost 60,500 points to get through. I have the graphs comparing the totals and averages across all the games and versions that include and exclude remasters. They will be appearing on screen back to back during this section right now, so feel free to pause at any point to take in a graph more closely if you'd like. Well, there is only one more thing I want to cover before jumping into the grand total for all of Zombies. How much of each price of door exists within Zombies? I don't know how to word that correctly, so let's just say how many doors of 250 points exist in Zombies and how many of 1250 and so on and so forth. So let's start at the bottom and work our way up. There are 13 doors priced at 250 points in Zombies. There are 3 doors priced at 300 points, all of them existing in Raven the Redwoods. There are 46 doors priced at 500 points. There are 195 doors priced at 750 points. There are 199 doors priced at 1,000 points. There are 184 doors priced at 1,250 points. I really thought that 1,250 was going to be the most common, but it just missed out. There are 75 doors priced at 1,500 points. There are 18 doors priced at 1,750 points. There are 26 doors priced at 2,000 points. There are 8 doors priced at 2,250 points. There are 2 doors priced at 2,500 points. There are 2 doors priced at 2,750 points, with those last 4 doors all coming from the tomb. 3,000 points being the most expensive door type, and there's only 3 of them in Zombies. Here is the graph for the segment we just covered for a visual reference. And now it is finally time to get the final result in. I'm not going to bother bouncing back and forth between non-remasters and remasters. For this, we're just going to include all remasters, every single map that Zombies has to offer. If you wish to open every single door, then this is what you'll be faced with. There are 778 doors, each averaging 1,098.88 points, and the grand total for all of Zombies is 840,050 points. That's how much it'll take if you want to open every single door in Call of Duty Zombies. What a massive number, and what a hell of a time I had gathering all this information. This has taken a very long time to organize and make a video out of. I did my best to be diligent and get everything right. This was a large undertaking that I'm glad I can finally bring to light. And now I want to know how close you were on any of the guesses you might have made. Were you close to guessing the most expensive map? How much that map cost? Were you close to the total? Did you overshoot? Did you undershoot? Were you surprised at the number, thinking it would be higher? Did you think it'd be lower? Sound off in the comments below. If I find anything I need to correct or anything is pointed out in the comments, then I will update correspondingly in the description. I may also update the final grand total in the description to keep this a little more updated into the future. So please, if you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, or subscribe. I appreciate you sticking through this chaos and the absolute nerd session that this has been. Have a great day. Until next time.